Why is the UK so expensive to live in? The cost of living in the United Kingdom has become a major topic of discussion, not just for economists and policymakers, but for everyday people trying to make ends meet. From London to Liverpool, from large cities to rural towns, many residents are asking the same question. Why is the UK so expensive to live in? While the reasons are complex, they are not mysterious. In this article, we break down the key factors that contribute to Britain's high living costs, using facts and real-world insights while keeping the tone respectful and neutral. Housing costs remain the biggest pressure point. One of the clearest reasons the UK is so expensive to live in is the high cost of housing. Whether renting or buying, the amount people spend on accommodation each month is significantly higher than in many other European countries. In major cities like London, Manchester and Bristol, renting a modest one-bedroom apartment can easily cost more than £1,200 per month. In the capital, that figure often exceeds £2,000. Property prices have consistently risen faster than wages in many areas, driven by factors such as a shortage of new homes, high demand in urban areas, limited land availability, and delays in planning approvals. These issues have made it difficult for the supply of housing to keep up with demand. Additionally, a growing number of properties are owned by investors or overseas buyers, further driving up prices in already competitive markets. For many individuals and families, housing represents their single biggest monthly expense. Even in areas where house prices are lower, such as parts of the northeast, mortgage rates and rental costs have risen significantly over the past decade. This has made the UK housing market one of the most challenging in Europe for both buyers and renters. Utilities and council tax add to everyday expenses. Beyond housing, British households must contend with some of the highest utility bills in Europe. Gas and electricity prices in the UK have risen sharply in recent years, partly due to fluctuations in global energy markets, increased demand, and reliance on energy imports. An average dual-fuel household in the UK now pays over £2,000 a year for electricity and heating alone. Water bills, sewerage charges, broadband, and mobile phone plans all contribute to the monthly cost burden. Additionally, every home in the UK is subject to council tax, which helps fund local services like rubbish collection and street lighting. Depending on the valuation band of a property and the local authorities' rates, council tax can range from approximately £1,200 to more than £3,000 annually. These costs are often unavoidable and non-negotiable. Unlike other bills, council tax does not scale easily with income, meaning lower earners may feel the pressure more intensely. When taken together, these fixed monthly expenses leave many households with limited flexibility in their budgets. Public transport and commuting are costly. Transport is another area where UK residents face high costs compared to much of Europe. Trains, buses, and underground services provide crucial links across cities and regions, but they come at a premium. A monthly rail pass for someone commuting into London can easily exceed £400. Even shorter distance travel, such as taking a city bus, can cost over £2.50 per trip. While public transport infrastructure is widespread, the UK has some of the highest train fares in Europe on a per-mile basis. Delays, service cancellations, and fare inconsistencies also add to public frustration. For those who drive, fuel costs are another financial consideration. Petrol and diesel prices in the UK regularly exceed £1.50 per litre, due in part to fuel taxes and supply chain pressures. Transportation costs are not limited to work commutes. For families with school-aged children, day-to-day travel, whether by bus, train or car, can add up quickly. These expenses, while sometimes overlooked, are essential in calculating the true cost of living in the UK. Grocery prices and everyday essentials continue to climb. The cost of food and everyday goods in the UK has also increased significantly, While discount supermarkets such as Aldi and Lidl have expanded their presence and helped many consumers save money, mainstream grocery chains remain more expensive. Items like milk, bread, eggs, meat, and fresh produce have all risen in price, partly due to rising input costs, fuel prices, and global supply chain disruptions. In the UK, a large portion of fresh food is imported. This dependence on imports makes the country more vulnerable to international price fluctuations and currency exchange rates. When the pound weakens, the cost of imported goods often rises, and those increases are passed on to consumers at the checkout. Even household staples like cleaning products, toiletries, and over-the-counter medicine have become noticeably more expensive. For many families, budgeting for groceries is becoming a growing challenge, especially as food inflation outpaces wage growth. Wage growth has not kept up with the cost of living. One of the most important aspects of affordability is the relationship between wages and expenses. In the UK, wage growth has not kept pace with rising living costs, and this imbalance is being felt across income groups. While some sectors have seen increases in pay, these gains are often absorbed by rising rent, energy bills, food prices, and transport fares. The result is that many workers, even those in full-time employment, feel financially stretched. According to several economic studies, real wage growth in the UK has remained flat or negative for much of the past decade. This is particularly concerning for younger workers and low-income families, who may struggle to save or invest in their future. Even with a relatively strong minimum wage compared to some countries, workers in high-cost regions like London or the South East often find that their earnings do not go far enough. This has led to growing interest in side jobs, remote work opportunities, and alternative income streams as people try to cope with rising expenses. The cost of childcare and education adds more financial strain. Raising a family in the UK can be rewarding, but it comes with significant financial demands. One of the highest costs for families is childcare, particularly for children under 5. Full-time nursery care can cost upwards of £1,000 per month in many cities. This cost often makes it difficult for parents, especially mothers, to return to full-time work after maternity leave. While public schooling is free at the primary and secondary levels, there are associated costs such as uniforms, school meals, class trips, and educational materials. Some parents also invest in tutoring services to help children prepare for entrance exams or academic benchmarks. These additional costs can add hundreds of pounds per year per child. At the university level, tuition fees in England are among the highest in Europe. Most undergraduate courses cost up to £9,250 per year, not including living expenses. As a result, many students graduate with substantial debt that takes years to repay. Imported goods and fuel prices drive up overall living costs. The UK imports a wide range of goods, from fuel and food to electronics and construction materials. This high level of import dependence means that fluctuations in global commodity prices, shipping costs, and exchange rates have a direct effect on household expenses. For example, the price of petrol and diesel in the UK is consistently among the highest in Europe, due to a combination of crude oil prices and national fuel taxes. This has a ripple effect on the cost of transporting goods, which in turn affects supermarket prices and online shopping delivery fees. Even everyday products, such as smartphones, clothing, and furniture, can carry higher price tags due to tariffs, international shipping rates, and retailer markups. Because the UK market is heavily reliant on imports for essential and non-essential items, global economic changes are quickly felt by consumers. Regional inequality makes life more expensive in some areas. It's important to note that the cost of living is not uniform across the UK. While London is often cited as the most expensive city, residents in other parts of the country also face challenges that affect affordability. In parts of Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, average incomes are lower, while basic living costs, such as heating, groceries and transport, can still be high. In rural areas, people may have to travel long distances to access schools, hospitals or supermarkets, increasing fuel and time costs. Public transport may be infrequent or unavailable, requiring the use of private vehicles. Limited access to services can also mean higher costs for things like childcare, healthcare, and broadband. This regional disparity creates a situation where people in different parts of the country experience the cost of living in very different ways. In some areas, people may feel that their income goes further, while in others, basic expenses consume a larger share of earnings. So why is the UK so expensive to live in? It comes down to a combination of high housing costs, rising utility bills, slow wage growth, and increased prices for food, fuel, and services. While the UK offers many advantages, navigating its cost of living requires planning, resilience, and careful financial management. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.